You'll never guess what made it onto Steam.
Cookie! Cookie!
You click, you get a cookie. You click again, you get another cookie. Then you use an auto clicker and you can make lots and lots and lots of cookies. But even with an auto clicker, we don't really want to be doing this manually, so we're going to first unlock a cursor, and that is slowly going to circle the cookie. It's going to mine 0.2 cookies per second. But that's until we unlock Grandma. So we're going to bring her along. Now we're mining 1.2 cookies per second and we don't have to do any clicking. But if we want to, we still can. We always have that option. We now get 2 cookies per click. So if I want to use the auto clicker, we can easily make 1,000 cookies. It won't take more than a few seconds. And that's going to unlock some kind of achievement. But we can also unlock the farm. That's going to grow cookie plants and cookie seeds, but that also boosts us up to 9.2 cookies per second. So you can see the number of cookies is going up pretty quickly all by itself. That means we can upgrade our cursor a few times. Pretty soon we're going to hit level 10. We're going to help it along just a little bit. We're adding cursors as we go. So we're now going to spend $1,100 on cursor upgrades, which is only 18 of them. We're going to jump that up to 20, and that's giving us 13 cookies per second. Now we'll upgrade Grandma. After we do just a little bit of clicking, we'll probably spend more like $2,000 on her. Before doing that, I'm going to buy the upgrade for our cursor. The mouse and cursors are twice as efficient. That's important. And Grandmas are twice as efficient. That costs $1,000 by itself. So there's only $800 left over for other Grandma upgrades. 30 cookies per second. Plus our clicking now gets us 4 cookies per click. So we're going to make these really fast. Didn't take more than like a minute. We're up to 6,000 cookies. So that means we're going to unlock a farm, because that's going to add lots of cookies per second. We're going to add as many farms as we can, which isn't many, but it's now raining cookies on the good world. For $2,000 to buy another one, we're up to 62 cookies per second, and I don't have to click a thing. But I can make the Grandmas twice as efficient if we want to. They're only making 22% of our total cookies per second, so maybe we should focus more on farms. I'm mostly going to focus on clicking for now. We're going to add a few farms, but we do still need to upgrade Grandma and Co. So now we're going to take 10,000 cookies, and we're going to upgrade Grandma just once. So she's now giving us 37%. We're going to buy a few more of her to get her to level 10. Then we're going to buy 2 farms. That puts us up to 100 cookies per second. And it only costs 10,000 cookies to make our clicks twice as efficient. So that's only going to take a second. So now we make 8 cookies per click. Maybe we should add more cursors too. They're still pretty cheap, so we can get away with it. I'll just sit here and click and collect cookies while I think about it. I think I see a golden cookie. So we just got about 2,000 cookies from that, and I'm lucky I saw that. But that's also going to give us enough for a mine. And that gave us a pretty big boost. Each mine gives us 47 cookies per second. So we're now up to 165 per second overall. And the Grandmas got taken down a notch. They're only 24% of my cookies per second. Farms are still 34%, so if I buy a few more of those, that's going to climb pretty quickly. I'm going to be doing a lot of clicking here tonight, and I don't know how I feel about that. Luckily, I did spot one little upgrade. If we click this, for 11,000, farms are twice as efficient, so they're now worth 56% of our total CPS, even more than the mines. Then next, I definitely want Plastic Mouse. Clicking gains plus 1% of your cookies per second. So that would add another 2.5 cookies per click currently. All I gotta do is click up 50,000 cookies. We'll be there in no time. That was pretty quick. 53,000 cookies to our name, so we're gonna upgrade our Plastic Mouse. That may seem like a small difference, but we're now getting 10.5 per click. And every time we upgrade something else, that number's only going to go up. There's 10.7. So for a minute, we're going to upgrade the farms because the next major upgrade is also for farms, so they're going to get very good for us. So let's spend $27,000 on farms, which isn't going to be more than a few upgrades, but they are 70% of my total earnings right now, and it's 11.3 per click. Then I just need another $55,000 to spend on the next farm upgrade, which makes them twice as efficient again. I only looked away for a moment, and there's 107,000 cookies, so we're pretty rich. Plus, we're up to 350 per second, but let's double the output of those farms, and that takes us up to 589 per second. Now it's a cookie storm. Then, I think we're probably going to buy a few more mines, because they're down to only 8% of our total cookies per second. So we'll buy a few of those. That brought them up to 25, but also 730 cookies per second. Pretty soon, we're going to be at millions of cookies per second, and we get 7 times production for 17 seconds, so we're going to click away. We're getting 60 per click right now, 5,000 per second. While I'm at it, I'm actually going to go over here and buy a factory because we're at big time multiplier. So I'm going to buy whatever I can real quick and go back to clicking because we need to take advantage of this. Look how fast the numbers are going up now. We're getting such a good bonus out of this. I really should be buying more like the factory, but we're up to 10,000 per second by itself and we're getting like 10,000 every fraction of a second with the clicking. I just got a whole bunch of achievements. I'm not really sure why. The bonus just ended, but we're still up to 1500 cookies per second without any bonus at all. So then we're going to upgrade grandmas for 50,000. They're twice as efficient, and the farms gain plus 1% CPS per 1 grandma. So that makes the farms a lot better. So this alone takes us from 1500 per second to 1600 per second. That added 100 cookies per second. Then the 1000 fingers, mouse and cursors gain 0.1 cookies for each non-cursor building owned. That's actually a lot. We're currently getting 24.1. We click on that, we're now getting 28.8. And then sugar gas. Mines are twice as efficient. The mines currently make up 25% of our total earnings. We click that, they now make up 40%. Then we're going to upgrade the factory once more because it's pretty expensive. We're now making 2500 per second plus 36 per click. Otherwise known as a lot of cookies. 1.6 million cookies later, we're going to get a bank, and that's going to take us from 2400 cookies per second to 3800. That was essentially a 50% increase. So that single bank now occupies 37% of our income, so we need to step up our factories and mines. And while I'm at it, I'm going to spend $50,000 on cursor upgrades, which isn't actually as many as you might think. But whatever those did actually take us up to 4,800 cookies per second, and we're getting 62 per click. And we'll hit cursor level 50. I'm not sure if that unlocks anything or not, but it might. Then we're going to buy 2 more factories, which took us up to 28% from 25, and then we're just going to click and save up for whatever's next. So 5,500 per second, 70 per click. We're saving up for a couple million. Clicked my way up to another 2.2 million cookies, so now we're going to buy plain cookies, which means cookie production multiplier plus 1%. So that did boost us up to 5,600, but that's going to make a big difference every time we click something else. And the mines are currently worth 25% of our income, so we're going to make them twice as efficient. They're now worth 40% of our income. And I guess we'll help with grandmas. We'll make them twice as efficient, and then mines gain plus 1% earnings per 2 grandmas. So that's also going to help 8,000 per second. While we're at it, let's spend $500,000 on grandma for some reason. That didn't go as far as I thought, but another 1 click and we'll have her at level 50, which ironically is half her age. So we'll click that and I think we unlock something new. Yeah, that definitely unlocks us some new stuff that's getting very expensive, obviously, so we'll buy ourselves a mine and keep on clicking. Let's spend another $1.1 million on factories. That's going to bump our numbers up just a little bit, but we're over 10,000 per second all by itself, so that's kind of a nice feeling. I think I want to try and get mines to level 20 and factory to level 10. I'm not sure if that's where their upgrades lie, but we're about to find out. This game is so very simple, but so very fun at the same time. Mine level 20. I don't think we unlocked anything. I did bring farms up to 25 though, and I can make farms twice as efficient now, so I'm going to bring mines up to level 25 also. That's going to cost probably $1.5 million. And this is going to take us from 11,600 per second to 12,800 per second. That added over 1,000 by itself. Clicked my way up to 2.7 million cookies, the most we've ever had. Let's upgrade the bank one time also, because that's going to bring us up to almost 15,000 per second. Then we're going to bring the mine up to level 25, which unlocked us this, which we can't afford yet because that's going to be $6 million. We're making so much money now, we're up to 6 million cookies. So I hardly know what to upgrade, but I think we're probably going to start with the bank, maybe even a few times, because that's adding pretty good numbers over here. Then let's also do the factory to level 10, because then we can also make factories twice as efficient. That puts us up to 21,000 cookies per second. Every time we click, 235. So we can definitely rack up many millions of cookies very quickly. Now that we've once again hit 5 million cookies, I think the only logical thing to do is buy a temple for 20 million. That took a little longer than I thought it might, but we've got over 20 million cookies. Which means we can afford one little temple, and that's going to take us from 21,000 cookies per second to 29,000 per second, and I think we have chocolate milk. Also, let's buy one more bank. That's going to bring us up to an even 30,000 per second, plus 330 per click. So we now make 1 million cookies every 20-30 seconds. Now that we have another 10 million cookies, I think I'm going to get Iron Mouse because I think our income is still largely from clicking, so we're going to get an extra 1% of my cookies per second per click. So that gives me 600 per click, so if I go like that, we're getting several thousand per second. So yeah, actually clicking isn't making as much as the passive income at this point. We'd have to be doing 50 clicks per second to justify this, so that was a bad choice. Okay, next we're going to upgrade the factories. They're now twice as efficient. That brings us up to 36,000 cookies per second. That was a 20% increase by itself. Then we're going to upgrade to the Ultra Drill for $6 million. Mines are twice as efficient. That takes us from 36 to 41,000, another massive increase. 859 per click. Then since our factories do seem to be doing quite a bit of work for us, in fact they're our most valuable piece, we're going to upgrade them a few times. 46,000 cookies per second. Next we're going to buy worker grandmas, because we might as well make them do something. For 6.5 million, grandmas are twice as efficient, but factories gain plus 1% income per 3 grandmas. That's going to take us from 47,000 to 51,000. But that also means that buying $2.5 million worth of grandmas is going to take us up to 53,000. The more grandmas we have, the better the factories will do. Things are getting expensive quickly, but we're getting over 1,000 cookies per click now, so that's definitely adding up. We're back over 1 million already. And I can't really remember how much the bank was adding, 1,400 per second each. So if we buy one of these, that's not actually a huge upgrade considering how expensive they are. We need temples. But at this point, passively, it's taking us less than 20 seconds to make 1 million cookies. Have you ever seen 25 million cookies? You have now. We're going to buy another temple to take us up to 63,000 per second. There are some upgrades that are a little bit cheaper. You gain more CPS the more milk you have. Where do we get milk from, and why is there a picture of a cat? I think the best choice now is to get factories to level 25, then I think we could probably double them. I'm going to need 7 more levels of factory at $1.6 million starting price, so that's going to be probably $20 million. Found another golden cookie. Oh, that's 7 times production for 1 minute and 17 seconds. That's going to be a big boost. I'm absolutely going to take full advantage of this. So we've hit 20 million, so let's upgrade the factories like I said and keep going there. We might have a new upgrade up top, we might not. But we're making 544,000 per second. So we're making millions every second, really. So we're going to upgrade the bank as many times as we can and go back to clicking. Then I'm very quickly going to cursor over the top to buy some of that. Don't even know what I was touching. Don't care. It all helps. I just really want to take advantage of this bonus right now. So we're going to wind up with probably $25 million out of this to spend on whatever we want. The bonus is done, but we're now making 100,000 per second, 2,000 per click also. So banks are worth 17% of our income. We can actually double that. So let's try that. That was, again, about a 20% increase. That's massive. And we're getting 2,400 per click, but I'm kind of interested to try this. Well, we're up to 2,500, which is fine. Then let's increase cookie production by another 1%. That's going to bring us up to 123,000. I think it might be in our best interest to try and bring everything up to level 25 at this point. That's going to get expensive. But anything worthwhile is going to be expensive. I think if we get farms and mines to level 50, we should be able to double their production again or get special bonuses. $11 million might be enough to get us there. All the way up to level 50, yep, and we definitely unlocked something new. Farms are twice as efficient. They're not making me a ton of income right now, so I don't actually know if that's worth it, especially for $55 million. This factory upgrade, on the other hand, for $65 million, that would be worth it. Another golden cookie has appeared. Hopefully this gets us your 11 banks are boosting your coins per second. I didn't really get a chance to read that, but we're making 272,000 per second. I'm tempted to put these many millions of dollars into banks to take full advantage of this. This is actually a very short bonus anyway, so I'm not going to mess with it. It's almost done, but we're over 70 million cookies. And we could have made banks twice as efficient there also. They do make up 26% of our stuff. Factories make more for now, so we're going to make factories twice as efficient. 166,000 per second. 70 million cookies later, that took a minute. We're going to get scissor resistant credit cards. Banks are twice as efficient. That puts us over 200,000 cookies per second. So we make 1 million every 5 seconds without doing any clicking. So I'm going to try and get the mines up to level 50. They're making 9.1% of my total money right now, but that brought them up to 10.6. I think they're going to be a quick enough upgrade to justify it. So let's upgrade the factory once, which adds 3,000 per second, and one of these which adds 6,000 per second, just for some perspective. So banks are more worthwhile, which makes me think temples are again more worthwhile. But then we should probably look at Wizard Tower. It's $330 million, but I bet it by itself is a huge boost. That took a little bit longer than I expected, but we made it $330 million. But now to find out if it's actually worth it, saving up all this money. So we're going to go from 227,000 to 278,000. So no, it was in fact not worth it. But we have more color. I guess at this point it is worth it to buy an extra 1% cookie production because that adds several thousand. For now, I'm going to upgrade the bank. I think it's going to be my best upgrade because every one of these is going to add 6,000 cookies per second and they only cost $8 million currently. So unfortunately, my new goal now is getting banks to level 25. That's an extra 12 levels. That's probably going to be well over $100 million. But at least I can also upgrade them along the way. So adding those two, one more is going to put us over 300,000 per second. So we're getting pretty close to $1 million every 3 seconds. Since I'm getting impatient, let's invest another $65 million in more banks. Which brings us from level 15 to level 19, 4 short levels, but 330,000 cookies per second, we're legitimately making $1 million every 3 seconds. Plus the clicking does help, we're getting I think 6,600 cookies per click, and we're doing a lot of clicks. And I think I'm kind of seeing how this is going to work. The banks currently cost $20 million per upgrade. By the time they hit 25, they're going to be more expensive than a temple, which adds 9,000 per second as opposed to the 6,500 here. But we will also upgrade the temple eventually, and that'll make them way more valuable. Also, do you think things max out at level 100? Because the cursor is at 69, and 100 might be the end, looking at that ratio, and I'm a little bit curious about that. We might run out of money before we get this done, but now I'm curious. My theory is it's going to unlock an upgrade that's like $40 billion that I won't be able to afford for a little while. I'd better at least get some kind of amazing achievement for getting something to level 100, because this is very expensive to do, even for the cheapest of items. Okay, there's 99 and 100 of mice and men, so I got an achievement there. There might be a new clicker upgrade here, 500 million for that. I think I already had it. Maybe this one? Multiplies the gain from 1,000 fingers by 10. I'm not sure if that's referring to this. Because if that was true and accurate, that might take us from 6,900 to 69,000, which would make a difference. I don't think that's accurate though. So for the time being, we're going to continue to upgrade the banks because 6,500 each is kind of worth it. Once we're at 25, I think that's when we're going to get the upgrade we so desire. Can you believe that 70 million cookies only buys 2 more upgrades? It's going to be a $40 million for the last upgrade, but we're up to 366,000 per second. Okay, there's the money we need. There's bank level 25. Now to see if there's a bank upgrade somewhere out there. Oh, there it is. It's only going to be $700 million.
Holy crap!
Luckily, we can also increase factories pretty cheaply right now. They're only currently $7.5 million to upgrade. They're going to add 3,000 per click. So we're going to do just a few of those. And I kind of forgot that grandmas can boost other things too. Like, she's boosting factories pretty big actually, and factories do make some decent money, so let's upgrade grandma a whole bunch. She seems handy. I wasn't really watching what that did to my money per second, but each click on her seems to be an extra 1,000 per second, so what's not to like? Also, here's an upgrade we need. Grandmas are twice as efficient, but more importantly, banks gain plus 1% per 4 grandmas. Given that our banks are level 25, that's going to be a big one. Okay, let's see how useful grandma is. $70 million, we're going to go from 390 to 431. That was over a 10% increase. That's actually huge. That's almost $1 million every 2 seconds. I think it is if we're clicking. Then let's spend another $50 million on grandma because that's going to take us from 440 up to 449. Not a huge increase, but still considerable. We've saved up another 200 million cookies. So I think that means I want to try billion fingers. So we're currently getting 9,100 per click. Once you spend $100 million on this, we're getting 12,000 per click. So definitely not what I was expecting. Maybe not what I was hoping for. But our per second just went up to 579,000. So it clearly helped a great deal there because that's actually monstrous. Using our incredible learning power, we're up to $266 million again, which means we're going to double our temples. So they're currently at level 6. If we double them, we go from 620 to 674,000. And we can even buy a few more of these if we want for $18,000 each. Wow, we very quickly saved up $750 million. And with it comes acid-proof vaults, which is going to make banks twice as efficient. So that's going to take us from 695 to 900,000 cookies per second, just about 1 million. And our clicks by themselves are worth 20,000, so 5 clicks equals 100,000. So currently banks are making up 45% of our income, factories are making up 11, and temples are making up 15, so I think temples are going to be the thing to upgrade. Although 3 factories is still cheaper than a temple, and that's the case for 1 more. Now temples are a better choice. So this has been a lot of fun, but we've saved up 1 billion cookies. And I really just wanted that because that makes temples twice as efficient. So that takes us from 940 to just over 1 million cookies per second, which is a lot of cookies. Combined with the clicking, we're definitely making well over 1 million per second. And in total so far, in the first 2.5 hours, we've mined almost 4 billion cookies. Oh, I get it now. Milk is gained with achievements, so we need achievements to get milk to make us more money. Okay, let's see if we can get Grandma another 10 upgrades, because I know if she hits level 100, I'm pretty sure she's going to have a pretty good bonus. But to bring her to level 100 is probably going to be about $500 million. So we've saved up another 250 million cookies. I'm hoping that's enough to get Grandma to level 100, and it's just a little bit shy. But Grandma isn't, so there we go, level 100, there's an achievement, that puts us up to 1,195,000 per second. And it doesn't look like, oh wait, Grandmas are twice as efficient for 500 million, but that doesn't really make a difference because them by themselves don't earn a lot. Well, that's disappointing. I was hoping for a big upgrade. Well, I guess I can always try and get my factories up. They still account for 10% of my income. And if we get them to level 50 and double them, I think that number is going to go up considerably. There's 11%. And you can see the cost for buying 10 levels of things right now. For 10 levels of factory, it's $700 million. Everything is so expensive. Okay, for my next extraordinary gamble, we're going to see if the next 10 levels of factory is worth my time. So once we buy that, we're not going to see a giant increase there, but I'm hoping for a better factory upgrade. Well, there it is, but it only costs $6.5 billion. That would be pretty decent though, because these are making 13.5% of my income. Okay, so I've had another fun idea. I realized there's all these cookies here available to buy, so I saved up the $800 million needed to do so. They each give me a 2% boost. So that's going to take us from 1.3 million, we'll call it, all the way up to 1.448 million. So in 3 hours, we mined 6.5 billion cookies, and I'm pretty happy with that. We can do better next time though.